Hello and thank you for watching. Today I'm going to show you the books I have read in March. There are 3 books. I will take you through them and let you know what I thought of them all. I haven't had a bad book this month, so good times. I've also already read one for April, so already doing very well. Watch me only read 2 now. First up, I have Looking for Alaska by John Green, who also wrote Paper Towns and The Fault in Our Stars. This book is not quite on a par with those 2 books. It's a very good book. It looks into friendships and relationships and is a bit twisted in those, and it's kind of set in school, so I sort of felt I was a bit too old to be reading it, but I don't think I am. I hope I'm not, but that was the only thing that sort of put me off it, was the fact that I felt I wasn't quite the target audience for this book, which is funny because I didn't feel that with The Fault in Our Stars or Paper Towns, which are obviously aimed at the same sort of age. Anyway, I would recommend going and reading this book. It's a good book. Next book is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. I'm possibly the last person on the planet to have read this book, but it is fantastic and I would highly recommend going and getting it, renting it from a library, whatever. If you haven't read it, I would recommend reading it. It's a really good 2-person story, so you're seeing both sides of the same story but both really different angles, and it's really interesting the way the characters kind of form, and yeah, it's a really good book. And the fact that you're kind of reading diary entries which you believe to be true and then possibly you find out they might not be true. You'll find out. It's a really kind of twisted book about love, but love in a kind of very unhealthy version of love. Yes, it's a very good book and I would highly recommend reading it. I read this quite quickly once I started because it was just one of those you couldn't really put down. It's just a very good book, very well written, keeps you hooked, keeps you wanting to read, keeps you wanting to know more about the characters and find out what's true and what's not true, and could that really happen? And oh my gosh, it did. That's the kind of book it is. Absolutely brilliant. Final book that I read, incredibly interesting, especially for a vlogger and blogger, mainly a blogger I think, John Ronson, So You've Been Publicly Shamed. I saw John Ronson speak at Mumsnet Blogfest and he was absolutely fantastic, and he was speaking about this book and kind of got me really interested in the book, and then the next year I met him, and then after that I bought all his books. It's taken me till now to read the books. But really interesting. It's very kind of into the psychology of people, into why we shame people on Twitter, why we get involved when we don't actually know anything about either side of the story. He interviews people who have been publicly shamed and it's incredibly interesting. So yeah, I would highly recommend this book. It's very thought-provoking. It will make you think twice about what you post on Twitter, what you post in social media. I think it's a very good book for bloggers and vloggers to read. It's incredibly interesting to see the different sides of each of the stories, from the people who kind of first like outed someone as doing something wrong or silly or something they shouldn't have said on Twitter, and the people who said the stupid thing and totally regret it but now can't find a new job because if someone Googles them, they're there having made a really stupid mistake. And we have all made really stupid mistakes. I know I have. And, you know, at least I made my mistakes largely when social media didn't really exist. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give us a thumbs up. If you'd like to, please subscribe. And I'll see you again soon. Alright, bye.